The alien girl thought that human warriors were just fairy tales. Beginning, the twin suns of Arvelos cast long golden beams across the jagged peaks of the Vale Mountains, painting the skies in hues of copper and violet. Deep within a valley hidden from most star charts, a settlement of the Erythri thrived, an ancient alien species known for their crystalline wings and shimmering, jewel-like eyes. Among them was a young Erythri girl named Lysira. She was curious, restless, and known for her habit of listening to old tales whispered by the elders. Her people lived in relative peace, but they often spoke of legend from faraway stars. Mythical warriors of flesh and blood, not crystal or light, who had once roamed the galaxy. Humans, the elders would call them, voices tinged with reverence and disbelief. They fought with nothing but steel, fire, and determination. They were not like us, born with wings or crystalline senses. They were fragile yet unstoppable. To Lysira, they were nothing more than fairy tales. She laughed whenever her grandmother recited stories of Earth or warriors who charged into battle without fear. How could creatures of such weakness fight against the darkness that lurked between the stars? It was absurd. And yet, one night as she stared up at the endless sky, she couldn't help but wonder, could it be true? Did warriors of flesh and blood truly exist? Or were they just another story crafted to keep children entertained around the ember fires? Her doubts were soon to be tested, because beyond the borders of Arvelos, something vast and cruel had awakened, the Zyric swarm, an insectoid empire of endless numbers, devouring worlds and civilizations, leaving only silence behind. And they had set their sights on Arvelos. The warning came when a scout stumbled back into the valley, wings broken, carapace cracked. His voice trembled as he gasped out the truth. The Zyrics, they are here. Panic spread like wildfire. The elders called for evacuation into the hidden caverns beneath the mountains. Lysira, curious and unafraid, slipped away from the frightened crowds. She wanted to see for herself what danger had arrived. At the edge of the valley, where the forest met the mountains, she saw it. A massive ship, nothing like the graceful crystal vessels of her people, lay half buried in the soil. It was scarred, metal plating twisted and burned. Smoke hissed from vents, and strange glyphs marked its hull. Cautiously, Lysira crept closer. She expected Zyric's drones to emerge, clicking their mandibles. Instead, the hatch hissed open, and a figure stumbled out. He was tall but not towering, broad-shouldered, wearing battered armor unlike anything she had seen. His skin was flesh, pale and bruised, not crystal. His eyes were sharp, human. He collapsed into the grass, clutching his side where crimson blood seeped between his fingers. Lysira gasped, wings trembling. She had heard the stories all her life, but she never believed them. Yet here one was before her eyes. A human. The warrior groaned, struggling to rise, but his strength failed him. Lysira knelt beside him, all mixing with fear. You're not real, she whispered. You're just a tale. He managed a weak smile. Guess the tales were true then, name's Kale. That night, Lysira dragged him into a hidden cavern, tending to his wounds with crystal salves. He told her his story between labored breaths. He was a soldier of a united human defense fleet, stationed near the Arvelos sector. The Zyric swarm had ambushed his vessel, and he was the only survivor to escape. His ship had crashed, and he had no way of contacting his people. Lysira listened, wide-eyed. His voice carried weight, not like the airy tones of the Erythry. His words painted images of battlefield, sacrifice, and human resilience. You fought them? With nothing but your flesh? She asked. Kale chuckled, though it hurt him. Flesh, steel, fire, and stubbornness. That's what makes us human. Lysira's disbelief began to waver. If humans were real, then perhaps the legends weren't so far-fetched. But as days passed, the Xyric swarm drew closer. Their ships darkened the skies, blotting out the suns. The Erythry, untrained for war, hid in their caverns. Fear gripped them, but Lysira looked to Kale. Despite his injuries, he began repairing his weapons. Primitive compared to Erythry technology, yet formidable in their purpose. He trained in secret, moving with a soldier's discipline, eyes hardened by battles she could only imagine. Why fight? She asked him once. You could hide like us. Kale's gaze was unwavering. Because if you hide, the swarm never stops. They'll come for you, your family, your people. Warriors stand so others can live. His words struck something deep within her. The fairy tale had flesh, blood, and fire in his heart. When the Xyrics finally descended upon the valley, Kale did not hesitate. With a battle cry that shook Lysira's soul, he charged into the fray, plasma rifle blazing. His figure cut through the swarm like a flame in darkness. Lysira, unable to remain idle, followed. She wielded a shard of crystal, channeling energy through it. For the first time, she fought alongside the human warrior, and she saw why the stories had lasted generations. He was relentless. Every fall, he rose again. Every wound, he bore without complaint. Against a swarm that outnumbered him 1,000 to 1, he fought like a force of nature. By his side, Lysira felt strength awaken within herself. Perhaps the Erythry were not meant to only hide. Perhaps they, too, could fight. Ending. The battle raged for hours, and the valley burned. Kale and Lysira fought together, their unlikely bond growing stronger with every clash. The Xyrics fell in waves, their advance slowed, their hive ship trembling under Kale's detonators. At last, Kale stood at the edge of the burning forest, his rifle smoking. His armor was shattered, blood streaking his face, but his eyes burned with victory. Lysira hovered beside him, her crystal shard glowing faintly. You really are real, she whispered, voice trembling with awe. A human warrior. Kale smiled faintly. Not a fairy tale anymore, huh? But then his knees buckled. Lysira caught him as he collapsed. His wounds were deep, too deep. No, she cried, wings fluttering desperately. You can't die. You fought for us. You! He placed a trembling hand on her cheek. Doesn't matter if I live. What matters is you remember. You fight. Tell your people humans fought beside you. Tears glistened in her crystalline eyes as she nodded. When the swarm retreated, broken and scattered, the Erythry emerged from their caverns. They saw the devastation, the fallen enemy, and the human warrior lying still in Lysira's arms. The elders, once dismissive of the old legends, bowed their heads in silence. They knew the truth now. Humans were no fairy tale. Years later, Lysira would become a leader among her people, training them to fight, to resist, to be more than just prey. Whenever doubt clouded their hearts, she would tell them of Kale, the warrior of flesh who stood against the swarm. And in the ember glow of the valley fires, The children would listen with wide eyes as she whispered. The alien girl once thought human warriors were just fairy tales, until she fought beside one. And so the legend lived on, no longer just a tale, but a truth carved in blood and fire.